Last week, I interviewed a very special person who is near and dear to me. With Mother's Day right around the corner, I thought it would be so appropriate to interview my mom, the ultimate thrifter, you guys, Tina from Tina Marie's Unique Boutique. I've learned the ins and outs of thrifting from her. And honestly, I was so excited to interview her and really talk about how she started to thrift and how she made it into her business. It took a little arm twisting, but I got her on that episode. So go and give that one a listen, and give her a shout out on that podcast. Now, in this week's episode, we're diving into a topic that scares a lot of business owners: going live on social media. If this is something that makes your heart race and you feel like you may get sick at any given moment, or at just the very thought of hitting that go live button, then stick around for this episode because I am going to talk about overcoming that fear and why you guys want to go live.
Welcome to the Rescued and Upcycled podcast with weekly inspiration, tips on trying new techniques, and overall real talk about owning your own DIY business. Now here's your host, Sonnet Ullenbrock.
Welcome back to Rescued and Upcycled. I'm your host, Sonnet Ullenbrock. I want to thank you guys all for joining me today on my podcast. If you guys are new here, welcome. I do interview creatives and small business owners every other week, and I just love talking about all things business. This year, I've also decided to incorporate some design and decor topics into the podcast, so you'll see those sprinkled out throughout the year. And today, though, we are going to talk about a topic that I think makes everybody cringe a bit. But I hope that I have been inspiring you guys along with my guest hosts. So, like I said, this week, we're going to be discussing a topic that just scares the heck out of a lot of small business owners: going live on social media. Like, why does that scare everyone? But then I took a step back and I thought about the first time that I ever went live. And then it kind of hit home. It's been so long that I forget how I had probably pushed those memories back so far because it was scary, you guys, and I didn't like those feelings. But I do know this is very scary for a lot of you out there, and I just think actually going live just does so much for your business. So I have just been talking to a lot of people about my Whatnot sales recently, and that's how I decided to talk about this topic. Everyone's like, wow, you're selling so much on Whatnot. And I'm like, yeah, you guys all need to get on the Whatnot train. It's a great way to get known for your business on a totally different platform. Selling live is awesome. And the more people that find your shows, the more you're going to be selling. And it's a lot of fun, doing those auctions. So I was, like promoting it and like encouraging people to do this. And the first thing that I get asked is, oh, so do I actually am I actually live? Like, will people actually be watching me? No, I'm gonna pass. And they always have a nervous laugh when I'm like, yeah, it's a ton of fun. And they don't think it's a ton of fun, you guys. They don't like that idea of going live. And then they all, by the end, just they must keep thinking about the whole thought of going live. And then by the end of our conversation, they actually look like they may get sick at the very thought of it. Um, so then it made me take a step back and I thought about how I felt when that somebody put that thought into my, like brought it up to me. And I just remember feeling this same way. I was at a business conference, and you guys may all know Dion from the Turquoise Iris. She was one of the keynote speakers there, and she had been talking about going live and how it was a complete game changer for her business, and she would recommend to anyone to go live for their own business. And and I remember she was at our table, and she was talking to me, and she's like, "Come on, you can do it. You can do it." And she was encouraging all of us. And I remember too having that same nervous laugh. But instead of like totally kiboshing that idea, I actually said, "Well, I'll think about it." And I just remember like the feeling of sitting at the table. My heart was racing. Okay, I was not going to go live that moment, but literally my heart was racing at the mere thought of going live. And I'm like, okay, I have to sleep on it. So I remember I came back the next day for the conference again, and I still was thinking about going live. I listened to her and all the benefits that she gave, and it was really hitting home. Some of the thoughts I had though were, what will I talk about? Will anybody be watching me? I mean, I've never gone live before. Or the ones that will be watching me, will they be laughing? Will I do something stupid? Oh my gosh, I will do something stupid. What if I say something wrong? What if my project doesn't turn out? And the what ifs just continued, you guys. I came up with every what if scenario in the book. I honestly did. And I'm thinking back and I'm like, you can stop saying what if. There is always a what if. What if I did this differently? What if this? What if that? So I finally, it was like a 3-day, I think it was like a 3-day conference. So by the third day, by the end of the conference, with lots of convincing from so many other of the creatives that were there as well, I set a date on my calendar and I told myself I had to go live on that day. It gave me time to figure out all the technology of going live, what I was going to do during my live, and hopefully just give myself a bit of time to get over the fear of this idea. So I did it, you guys. I set that date, and I remember that very first time, I'm like, oh my gosh, what if am I doing this right? And, again, the what ifs, you guys. And I just remember too, my husband's like, do you really have to prepare 3 hours for a live? And I'm like, yes, because I got to get it right. But really, I didn't. I look back now, and now when I go live, I'm prepared. I have an idea, but it's really there. I'm going live to interact with my viewers, to showcase like a project, to show like, I don't always finish a project on my lives. I would love to, but it's kind of an ongoing joke lately that I don't finish them because I pick these in-depth projects or I run into problems and I talk about what I need to do to fix it or finish this project. So I guess, just remember that everything doesn't have to be perfect. So let's talk about why going live is so powerful and so important for your business. And then we're going to talk about what's really holding you back. And then just some simple tips to get you comfortable with hitting that scary little button. So let's dive in to, first of all, why going live is so powerful for your business. So, number one, you guys, it truly builds extra trust. It gives you that trust factor with your viewers. You get to, they watch you, they see your posts, they watch, if you're on YouTube, they watch your videos. But truly, when people see you live, there's a different interaction. They get to talk to you. I mean, they don't get to talk to you on your videos. Yes, they can make a comment or on your post, but you never get that interaction live. And people buy things from people they trust. So if you do have a business, which most of us do, going live is really key for them to get to know you, like get to know your sense of humor, the person you truly are. Like your little quirks. It makes you seem more human. And seeing you live makes you real and relatable, honestly, you guys. So, always keep that in mind. You always want to build that know, like, and trust factor. And by going live, you're doing that. So, the other thing, number two, it builds your visibility. Most platforms really like it when their people go live, like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. So now what I have been doing is I do use StreamYard, and with StreamYard, I go live on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram all at the same time. So I'm hitting all three platforms. I'm not sure the algorithm totally loves that because of the streaming aspect of it, but there's the replay. And I still think even after they may not be necessarily directly on my live at the time, but they may see my replay. But it definitely boosts your visibility on all those platforms. And I can see, how many people have, are on my lives from each of the platforms. I can see where how many people watch it over the lifetime, and you're getting more visibility. So if there are things that you want to, like an exciting announcement about your business, this is where you want to go live. Or like make it a weekly event. And that's what I always recommend, consistency. And schedule it out at the beginning. So I always create an event, but yes, it gets you more visible. Then the next is it creates a deeper connection. Lives just feel like real conversation time. It's not like a polished ad. It's not like a highly edited YouTube video. You can, definitely answer any questions that anybody has. You just chat casually. Like I love that whole aspect of it. And I know from doing them for so long, some people do not like lives. They don't understand lives. They try to watch the replay. They feel somewhat left out sometimes because they're not there live with you and you're answering questions or you're commenting. So they may not get all the ins and outs. And that's the feedback that I had received for a while. Like, not everyone loves my lives. Some of them just like my edited videos. And lives aren't for everyone, but some love them. And you definitely want to nurture those viewers that love them and build those relationships with those viewers. Um, Another thing, showing behind the scenes, like share your real life projects, like what progress, even your workspace. So I like show my workspace, where I am, where I create, and it is kind of a hot mess. And I probably should really have it looking like perfect, but that is my workspace, and I bring them there every single week. And people love seeing the real you. And that's really like, I am like, where did I put this? Like when I clean things up, that's when I lose things. And everybody's like, oh my gosh, last week she didn't finish the project. This week she's misplacing everything because I had cleaned up. So there's just like inside jokes with the regulars that keep coming back. So definitely keep that in mind. And you guys, it's a free marketing. Think about it. All these social platforms are free marketing, and going live is just another marketing technique for you. So there's just no fancy like tech that you have to worry about truly. You don't have to spend money on ads. It's just you, like your camera, your phone, however you're videotaping, and what you're passionate about or what you want to talk about at that time. So keep that in mind. It is just another marketing technique as well. And, honestly, that is why lives are so powerful. Now, what's really holding you back? Is it a fear factor? It's facing that fear. So let's dive into, how you can overcome this. And, number one, I think fear of judgment. You feel like people are going to judge you. You need to get over it. You guys need to get a little bit tough skin. There are keyboard warriors out there that say not very nice stuff. And believe me, I have had comments that have hurt my feelings. A couple of them stung so much that I teared up. I will be honest. There was a couple times where I teared up, and it made my husband so upset that somebody was so hateful. But you know what? Think about all the kind comments. And honestly, I sit back and there's only been a few like hurtful comments or like people where people actually judged and wrote it. But honestly, you guys, there's so many kind people out in the world. And the ones that are going to be on your lives, they're your friends. They're the ones that want to be there. I mean, they're taking time out of their day to join you, to interact with you. So don't be worried about how you look or what you sound like. People do not like my voice. They say I have like this upturn in how I talk. I don't care anymore. If you don't like me, there are so many amazing, so many other amazing channels out there. Go find somebody that doesn't annoy you. If my voice annoys you, go find somebody else is how I say it. And I'm not trying to be like snarkety, but I'm like, honestly, you don't have to tell me you don't like my voice. You can just go move on. Because one lady asked me to talk normal. This is how I talk. No matter what I do, I cannot change. This is how I am. I have done this for how many years and I can't change. So, just a reminder, nor most people are not judging you. They are cheering you on and they want you to win. And they're there to support you and to interact with you. So keep that in mind. Um, I talked about like fear of making mistakes. And honestly, have I made mistakes on my lives? Absolutely. Has there been tech issues? Yes. Do you know how many times telemarketers call me and I don't have my do not disturb on? Multiple. Are you afraid that you're going to stumble over words? I say things wrong all the time, but it's just me. And you know what? We're all human. We all make mistakes. Nobody is perfect. So mistakes actually make you more relatable, you guys. And just be yourself, be your authentic self, and just show up and don't try to be somebody else. Just have fun when you're, out there on your lives. And I'm sure the first few times you're going to like look like a complete stick figure because you're going to be so scared, but loosen up, have fun with it. Just enjoy being live. And perfectionism, you guys. Think, you know, thinking you have to look perfect, you have to be perfect, the background has to be perfect, the lighting, everything has to be perfect. You have to have your project planned out. No, scrap it all. You do not have to be perfect. For all you perfectionists out there, relax. Nobody is going to think that you're not perfect. I mean, maybe. I'm sure some people are like, whoa, she's a hot mess tonight. But you know what? That's who I am sometimes. Sometimes I am the hot mess express and I'm like, okay, that's who I am tonight. And if you don't like it, there's nothing I can do. But don't worry about all those things. Just have fun and show up. And then the last thing is fear of no one is going to show up. And honestly, you guys, when you first start going live, no one is going to show up because nobody knows you're going live. And that might be the best thing for you because if there's nobody there, you can relax because you're not worried about somebody judging you. You're not worried about being perfect. You can just enjoy. So, but it's okay. People will show up and they'll show up if you schedule your event ahead of time, if you promote your event, if you tell people you're going live, that's when people will show up if you start making it a weekly event. But even if no one shows up live, more people are going to watch your replay. So just keep that in mind too. So I just think I had a lot of these same fears in the beginning, and after doing it, I have now been going live for several years, and I can't even believe I'm saying it's several years because going live for the first time as I was thinking about this, it just feel so like it was yesterday that I did my very first live, and now I do it so often, and when people, like, get that cringy feeling, I'm like, "Oh, who cares?" It's only live, but I have to take a step back and realize, Sonnet, you've been doing this for a while. It's like secondhand nature. And so many people haven't even hit that button, that go live button for the first time. So, anyways, but how to overcome the fear and get comfortable going live? How can you be where I'm at today? So, what I would suggest is number 1, be prepared, but don't overplan. I also, even to this day, like when I want to talk about specific things on my lives, I do have like a checklist, so I don't forget anything because when you are live and you're trying to, watch the comments and you're trying to interact and do a project or whatever you're doing, you can get lost in the moment of being live. And so I do have like a little checklist and I just kind of check them off, but I keep it really casual, you guys. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna, here's this information or whatever I want to tell you. Um, and then, you guys can practice lives. You can do a private live. Um, I never did that because I think it would have made me more nervous, but I think you can, like, most platforms allow you to go live to yourself, or you can create like a private group and go live in there. I would suggest just ripping the band-aid off and just doing it, or like just practice talking to, like, just even recording yourself. I mean, that sometimes makes you feel like alive as well. So, just I would practice a little bit or like think about what you're going to talk about and just be a little bit more prepared the first time. But really, you guys, just start simple. Keep it short. You do not have to be on an hour live. Don't think like, oh God, I got to go out for an hour live. Oh God, it's my first live. I have to be on here for an hour. What am I going to talk about for an hour? Go live for 5 minutes. Showcase something. Go live in your driveway. Go live in your craft room and just say like, "Hey, this is my very first live, and I want to introduce you guys. You are an amazing community." And like, just rip the band-aid off and do that. Something super easy and very short. And then when you hit that end recording button, you can go like, "Whew, I did it. I did my very first live." But focus on like connection versus perfection, you guys. Think about how you can connect with your viewers. Don't think like, oh gosh, I need to look perfect. But think about what you can show them or teach them to connect with them. It's not about you like looking all dialed up to the nines. Just, you know what, show up as you are. And at the end of the day, I go live every Monday with Tara from the Reclaimed Ranch, and there are days like I hit the record button and all of a sudden I'm like, holy heck, Sonnet, you should have looked in the mirror before you went live. Because I do Mondays and Tuesdays are by far my busiest days, and I try to accomplish as much as I can on those 2 days. And I there's a few times where I'm like, I should have looked in the mirror before I joined live on today. But it's okay. Again, it's not about being perfect. It's about being authentic. Um, so with that, invite a friend to join you. So I just talked about having Tara on my Monday night lives. Do I need to have somebody on? No, I don't. But it's nice to have somebody on. So you can invite somebody over and you can both be live together in the same room. Or Tara is in Washington State. So she's in Washington, I'm in Wisconsin, and we go live together. So that is a lot of fun to do group lives as well. So I know that some of the members in my membership group are doing this now. They set their dates and they go live together. And it's a ton of fun. They're making it fun. They're both showing up for their viewers every Saturday. I'm thinking about Sandra from Midwest Charm, and I'm also thinking, oh my gosh, Backyard Brushes, Sylvia. Anyways, it's been a long day so far, but yes, the two of them get together every Saturday and they send each other things and they flip them, and they're making this a fun event for themselves and for their viewers. So but you guys celebrate every single live. So every single live that you do will help you build confidence. Whether one person is watching you or 100, it's okay. You have to start somewhere. So, just start off and just cheer yourself on every single live that you do. And if you do one, schedule the next one. I am telling you, if you do not schedule the next one, you may not go back to doing another one. I've seen too many people, like, they do their first live, they're all excited, they feel like they've accomplished so much, and then they don't schedule their next live. Schedule your next live right away. So, I have a pro tip for you guys. When you first hit that go live button, and I see so often that when I see somebody going live and they're like, "Hello, yes, we're waiting for some people to join," and nobody's joining. "Oh, just gonna give it a couple more minutes before we start." Don't do that. That is like a number one live killer. What you need to do is you need to act like somebody's watching right away, because a majority of the people are going to watch your replay. Okay. So while you're waiting around for people to join, anyone that's going to watch on that replay is going to jump off because it's boring. They're not going to wait around 15 minutes until you decide to go live or start doing your thing. So give them a reason to stick around. So, hello, introduce yourself. Tell them what they're going to get from your live. Tell them what you're doing today. Hook them in. Tell them at the very end of the live, you're going to do this, and make them want to stay till the very end of that live. So it's going to keep them watching, and you definitely want the people to watch your replays and to keep on watching. So, going live isn't really about being absolutely polished and perfect. It's about just being present, you guys. And your people are waiting for the real, imperfect, creative you. So, I am going to encourage each and every one of you in the next week or so, pick a day, plan a mini live, and just go for it. I know that each and every one of you got this inside of you to do it for your business, and I will encourage each and every one of you within the next week to go live. And I hope that I've given you some really good tips today and broke it down about, the benefits of why you guys want to go live, and to just really overcome those fears, because honestly, everyone that's watching you, they are truly cheering you guys on. Okay. So I'm excited to hear in the comments how many of you have gone live or considering going live now after listening to today's episode. But you guys, now in next week's episode, I am so excited. I am going to be interviewing Natalie from Sparks of Joy Studio, and she has become one of my really good friends. If you guys have always wanted to collaborate with somebody, but you have no idea how to ask them or where to even start, then this is an episode that you guys are going to want to listen to. Natalie is the queen of collab, and I can't wait to hear her journey of how she got into collaborating and hear what tips that she has for us. So, until next week, you guys, if you are listening on any of the podcast platforms, platforms. Do not forget to rate, review, and subscribe so you guys don't miss out on an episode. If you're watching on YouTube, definitely hit that subscribe button. Turn on that bell notifications so that when I do release my videos every Thursday, you'll be notified. And give me a thumbs up and let me know what you guys are thinking about the podcast. Or, today, like I said, if you're going live, let me know when. Give me a date. Now, you can also find me on all the other social platforms like Instagram, Facebook, at Sonnet's Garden Blooms, and where I post over there a ton more content. But I hope you guys have enjoyed today's video or episode, I should say, and we will see you guys in the next one. Bye.